What's up, people? I'm Shaggy the Opinionated Hippie, and this is part 13 of my reviewing and ranking Bob Dylan's bootleg series. And we are on volume 15 because the first volume was volumes 1 through 3, and those have yet to be separated. This is volume 15, Travelin' Thru 1967 to 1969. This is the bootleg series that deals with the John Wesley Harding and Nashville Skyline recordings. Got a lot of Johnny Cash on here. We got a couple self-portrait tracks, Johnny Cash covers that were recorded in the self-portrait sessions. It came out in 2019. It is 3 CDs, but it could all fit on 2 CDs. Though I do think the 3 CDs are well formatted, though the second CD could have more time on it, and you could put some stuff from the first CD on the second CD, and I think it all fits. So weird decision there. Yeah, I think it does all fit. No, maybe not. Anyways, we'll get to that in a second. It does. So yeah, 3 CDs of stuff from John Wesley Harding and Nashville Skyline. This is a fun listen. I think it's a lot of neat stuff on here. I think it's one of the... It feels light. I don't know what exactly I mean by that, other than after volume 14, which was like Blood on the Tracks, 6 CDs of like everything that was recorded in the recording of Blood on the Tracks. It almost seems like we needed something a little more light and refreshing, and like not something so heavy and like weighs you down. And this is like the perfect follow-up to More Blood, More Tracks. It's just Bob being country, Bob leaning towards country, Bob with Johnny Cash being hardcore country. Like, it's all those things. And it's a fun listen, but I don't know if it's like the most necessary release. It really feels like they had to do something with this era, right? With the John Wesley Harding, Nashville Skyline era. They had some stuff. They maybe just threw some stuff on here to flesh it out. It is a fun listen, but yeah, all right. I've said that enough times. Disc 1 is all outtakes or alternate takes from the 2 album sessions. I think you get like 7 John Wesley Harding tracks and maybe 8 Nashville Skyline tracks, or vice versa. And you get alternate versions, alternate takes, outtakes. And it's fun. If you like those 2 albums, I think the first CD on this, which is John Wesley Harding stuff, Nashville Skyline stuff, is just a really fun, good, it's like an album length. It's 43 minutes. It doesn't feel like an album, because obviously we know it's not. But I don't know. It's a fun listen. You get Drifter's Escape, I Dreamed I Saw St. Augustine, All on the Watchtower, John Wesley Harding, As I Went Out One Morning, I Pitied the Poor Immigrant, I Am a Lonesome Hobo, Get I Threw It All Away, which was also released on the self-portrait album, To Be Alone With You, Lay Lady Lay, One More Night, Western Road, Peggy Day, Tell Me That It Isn't True, and then the entire thing wraps up with a nice little country pie. It's a really fun, nice listen, a great little period from Dylan's career. It's interesting when we get to like the Nashville Skyline stuff, and with that delivery just becomes starkly different. That's kind of fun to hear in like real time as we go through like the album sessions. Not in real time, but you know what I mean, chronological time. That's disc 1. I think disc 1 is the most consistent and strongest and most like revisitable of the 3 CDs. The second CD and some of the stuff that's on the third CD are the Dylan Cash sessions, and which is this Bob Dylan and Johnny Cash in a studio recording. Sometimes there's a full band there, or at least a drummer and a bass player. And it's them just kind of going back and forth and saying, hey, what do you know? Let's play this. Wait, you don't know those lyrics? I'm going to write down these lyrics. Can I get somebody to write down these lyrics? It really feels like Johnny Cash, like he's running the show. It feels like Dylan's like just more than happy to like follow the country ways of Johnny Cash and do what Johnny Cash wants to do. And so there's a lot of Cash talking. There's not as much Dylan as I think I would want in these personally. Coming to this as a Dylan fan, even though I'm also a Johnny Cash fan, I'm more of a Dylan fan. There's some interesting stuff on here, but for the most part, I almost feel like you're just eavesdropping, or, it should be a documentary and you're just watching them like, work things out. A lot of like, hey, you do this line, I do this line. Oh, that didn't work. How about you say this? And there's a lot of that. You get 19 songs. I think some of the more interesting things, you get a Don't Think Twice, It's All Right, and Understand Your Man. They're trying to do that at the same time, alternating but overlapping lines to the melody of Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. Couple versions of a really cool song called Mountain Dew, kind of old, like, probably like a moonshine, Mountain Dew, went up to the mountains, kind of just like almost like a hillbilly type jam. Really fun song. You get a Carl Perkins Matchbox on here. You get a nice Mystery Train. Get a rehearsal and then a first take of Girl from the North Country. You get a nice Big River on here. I Walk the Line. You Are My Sunshine. And then a Ring of Fire. You get 52 minutes of Dylan and Johnny going back and forth. That's disc 2. Disc 3, you got some more of the Dylan Cash sessions, including a great song called Wanted Man, which is one of the better tracks. It's almost like fully fleshed out, I think like 3.5 minutes. Wanted Man in. They just name off places, just spit fire in the names of places that they're wanted in. Kind of a cool little jam. They got a couple Jimmy Rogers medleys in there that are pretty cool. I think it's the same one just twice, or maybe it's not. No, it's different songs. Kind of cool. And then you get a bunch of like television performances from Dylan. You get him on the Johnny Cash show doing I Threw It All Away, Living the Blues, and with Johnny, a duet of Girl from the North Country. And then you get some stuff. You get the 2 outtakes, I guess, from the self-portrait sessions, I think is what is from Ring of Fire and Folsom Prison Blues. I think those are probably 2 of the most interesting things on here. Hearing Dylan just fully committing to these songs. That's pretty awesome. I think his Ring of Fire is a pretty good Ring of Fire. His Folsom Prison Blues is a pretty good Folsom Prison Blues. And then you have a bunch of stuff where he was on the Earl Scruggs show, where he did something with Earl Scruggs. You get like an interview with Earl Scruggs. So like, are you nervous? You nervous to play with Bob? How you feeling? And then you get them playing a bunch of songs. East Virginia Blues, To Be Alone With You, Honey, Just Allow Me One More Chance, and Nashville Skyline Rag. You get 40 minutes of that on CD3. So it's a fun, it's kind of light. It's like a nice, refreshing sort of, let's just take things a little bit easier and indulge in some country and kind of explore this territory of what Bob wants to do before moving on to other things quickly thereafter. But also maybe keeping a little bit of country in his sound for a while. But yeah, it's a fun listen. If you're not a Johnny Cash fan, that CD2 and a little bit of CD3, a lot of the sessions with the 2 of them are heavy on Johnny Cash. He's doing a lot of the talking, a lot of the singing. He seems to kind of be the one who wants to take charge. Dylan seems more than happy to just follow the lead on this. I wish there was more Dylan if I had a complaint. The third disc, those performances that are live, they're good. They're kind of neat to hear. I'm not sure they're revelatory. I think the strongest disc is the first disc, just because those 2 albums, John Wesley Harding and Nashville Skyline, are so great. So to hear slightly different versions of these songs and just to kind of seep in these songs for another 45 minutes, that's a really good experience. So yeah, I like this release. I'm glad I have it. Where would I rank it if I had to compare it to the other ones? It's right towards the back. It's 11 out of 13. Like, No Direction Home, the soundtrack, I think is just kind of a mess and just doesn't flow. Whitmark demos, I really enjoy, but I do think that the disc 1 of this one is better than the stuff on that Whitmark demos. And there's a couple really good Johnny Cash things in the Johnny Cash sessions. That One in Man, I really, really enjoy. So yeah, I have it towards the back. Like, I think all of these are good. I think the only one I actually legitimately have some sort of issue with is Volume 7. It just, for some reason, I don't know, it seems forced. This one seems a little forced also. Like, let's just find enough material to justify 3 discs. But it's a good listen. It's fun. It's worth it for disc 1. But yeah, I would put it back at number 11. So yeah, that's all I got for this. I don't really know what else to say about it. My tongue is tied today. I'd love to know if you're I like Nashville Skyline and John Wesley Harding. Those are like top 10 Dylan albums for me. but I still don't think this is that like blowing my mind as far as what those albums could have been something different. I don't walk away with that experience as much as I enjoy this. If I'm missing something, or if you are a hardcore Nashville Skyline John Wesley Harding and like there's something on here I just truly am missing out on, let me know. But I do think it needed to happen. We needed to get this box set. I think it's one of the more like, oh, okay, that's interesting type ones in the series. I enjoy it, but I can't say it's one of those you have to absolutely have. You have to have those albums. John Wesley Harding, Nashville Skyline. I'm not sure you absolutely have to have this. Yeah. All right. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Let me know your comments. Comments about these albums, about John Wesley, Nashville, about this box set, all that stuff. Subscribe, like, share, and go listen to Bob Dylan, people. Go listen to Bob Dylan. Go listen to Wanted Man. I think Wanted Man is just a blast. 3 minutes. I think it's 11 seconds, 14 seconds, something like that. Just a blast of a song. Yeah, it's a good time. All right, that's all I got. Peace. Talk to you later.